Gary Lee along with Army Armstrong at the Union Grove, Wisconsin Fairgrounds for the four-wheel and off-road Jamboree Northern Nationals. We have had problems here this afternoon. We're trying to get them rectified right now. Let's go back trackside, and here's Army.
Well, Gary, we kind of got a handle on this thing. Scott Stevens, driver of the Auto Value Special. Scott, what's the word?
They're shorting the track. You know, it's pretty evident that this left lane's not safe for the speeds we're running. And, you know, they got to worry about the crowd and the safety of these guys. You know, you've got a $100,000 truck. You've lost 2 of them already, and you know, everybody's got to change their whole thought of racing. The gears and everything we're set up for is racing for a longer track. We don't have time to change the gears. We got to go on and race. The track's about half the length, but you know, safety is what we got to worry about, and you know, that's what they're changing for. You know, I'm pretty happy that they're doing it because you know we rolled over 3 times this year, and I'm not really happy about running those kind of speeds on a bad track. It's a good track, I don't mind it, but this track here is terrible.
Okay, well, Gary, that brings to point an interesting fact that these tracks are completely different everywhere they go. There is a common denominator. It is safety, but what you're going to see for the rest of the day, I guarantee you, is just a full boogaloo throwdown. That light goes green, they're going to mash the motor and fly one time. The guy that lands is going to be the winner. Let's see who it's going to be. They're ready to go racing again.
You hear from Scott Stevens, the track has been shortened. There is now the starting line in what normally would be no man's land. They have taken out or eliminated the first jump, the first set of cars, and there is the reason why, as snakebite still on top that crushed concession stand.
One of the things we're going to see here as John Breen takes a micro machine into the staging lanes is the chassis are going to be basically equal now. He'll be going up against Don Van Loo with the Dodge-powered vehicle, but all you got to do is go. You don't have to worry about landing. You can land after the race is over. So watch for some rocket rides off the starting line, Gary.
And Breen gets the whole shot, and there's what you're saying. Put the pedal down.
That's right.
You land after the finish line.
You just pull the trigger and fly that rascal.
So the micro machine takes the victory. Fans look on here. Round 1 from Union Grove, Wisconsin. Let's take a look again. And he won it right there with the whole shot.
Well, a lot of these guys came to us through the sport of drag racing. That experience is going to pay off today, Gary.
You have one of those drag racers with you now.
Moving the track back or making it short, is that the right way to go?
Yeah, for safety's fact, I'd say it's the right way to go. You know, it's going to help some guys and hurt some guys, to tell you the truth.
How about you?
It'll help me because I'm running a lower gear and I got a smaller motor, so it'll help me.
Round 1 competition continues. We look at the youngster. This is Jack Willman Jr., only 24 years of age. He drives Taurus out of Granite City, Illinois, up near St. Louis, and he'll be going up against No Problem, the Bronco, driven by John Moore out of Lafayette, Tennessee.
Now, John Moore has been around this sport a long time. He knows technically his truck cannot compete with the Taurus. By the way, you're going to get to take a ride with Taurus on this run. He knows if he's going to get him, it's going to be on the starting line. Moore is going to go hard off the line. Watch it. Look at he leads right with him. Now it's up to horsepower.
And Taurus takes it. The youngster from Granite City, Illinois, Jack Willman Jr. takes the victory over the veteran from Tennessee.
The late technology truck. We're inside of it right now. I want you to notice the driver. Watch the abuse he takes. See, the new suspensions are really absorbing a lot of the energy, so this particular race, the rest of the afternoon, will not be a chassis race. It'll just get down to brute horsepower.
The Hoosier, Columbia City, Indiana's Steve Hess in Nitemare, and there is a look at Gary Porter's Carolina Crusher with some sponsorship from Big A Auto Parts.
And also the four-wheel drive center on the other side. The Penda liner people are involved in the Nightmares racing operation. So a lot of major corporations realizing they get a lot of exposures on these monster trucks. GMC, Chevrolet, let's see what's going to happen.
Spin the tires at the starting line, and it's Gary Porter's Carolina Crusher. Once again, the Carolina Crusher was the 4th fastest qualifier. He had lane choice.
The chassis, you can see a good demonstration here. Watch the truck on the left-hand land soft. Truck on the right.
Newer chassis, the newer suspension system.
Truck on the right just bounces.
And here's a look at Mike Vaters out of Hagerstown, Maryland, in the black Stallion Ford. He'll go up against the Chevrolet of the former drag racer Wayne Smozanek from Jupiter, Florida, Tropical Thunder.
Well, this new kid in the black Ford is trying to come into this league, make a name for himself, ever runs a pressure run. Meanwhile, we talked earlier about the track being to the liking of a drag racer. That would have to give the odds-on favorite to the Tropical Thunder truck. See what happens.
And it was Smozanek by what, 18 inches maybe?
Tell you, thousandths of seconds is the way they measure this thing. No matter how you measure it, he's coming back in the next round of elimination. Black Stallion will have to wait for another day, Gary.
There's a Chevrolet fan right there. He voices his approval as Smozanek in the Chevrolet will advance
for the reaction to it. Isn't it amazing, the common denominator in all forms of motorsport? Your sprint cars or midgets or these guys, timing. That's what it's all about, isn't it, Gary?
Well, Wayne has taken the helmet off, and he has made his way over to you, Army.
The short spring truck, this could be the hot setup today. Everything got equal real quick.
Well, yeah, because when you get that in-between bounce out of there, it gives the guys with a spring truck a chance to use the horsepower they have and not so much rely on the suspension of the truck. And it could turn it around. You could see a lot of upsets like you're seeing right now.
You're going to be a player. We'll see you in that next
Thank
round.
you.
And as Wayne walks away, we take a look at Bigfoot Andy Brass showing off his brand new haircut. Bigfoot 8 out of St. Louis, Missouri. He is the second fastest qualifier. There is a look at Scott Stevens out of Texas in the Auto Value King Krunch Chevrolet.
I noticed that Scott Stevens picked up the new Simpson hat as his crew chief goes to check out the top end of the truck. They've got a problem. The truck completely shut off. I brought a mention about the new Simpson safety equipment because Stevens has been on his head so much this year. He's a testimonial for the safety equipment people in this sport. If they weren't building good stuff, he'd have been hurt by now.
I had a chance to visit with him recently at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. He and his young son were there for a visit. He said, I'm tired of getting upside down. We have to turn this season around. Excuse the pun.
Play on words. And what it is, they've got there's a little screw is the word we're getting. That was right there. Tracy Smart holding it. This could almost be a case of sabotage. There was a wood screw. Now, why would you have a wood screw around any kind of a racing vehicle? It was hung in the injection throttle there.
Are you trying to imply something, Army?
I'll say this, that there's no reason in the world a wood screw should ever be around any kind of racing vehicle like this.
Well, apparently the problem has been resolved, and this will be the final shootout in round one.
Whoa!
What a great hole shot for all, but look at the horsepower of the big Ford as Bigfoot outpowers King Krunch for the victory.
He literally had to catch him in the air. Yeah, but they're okay. They didn't tear the truck up. They entered on all fours. So psychologically, King Krunch and Scott Stevens will come out a winner. But Andy Brass literally flies to the wind, passes him in midair, Gary.